today we will be bottling this cider. We are bottling this today because I had to pour some of that in here to take up the headspace, meaning that there was way too much oxygen in here and that was starting to cause problems. Well, now there's way too much oxygen in here, and so it would be better to bottle this and then let it just age in bottles. We're gonna have to do this a little bit different today. Because I don't know how much is in there, I can't calculate how much sugar to add to that so it can carbonate in the bottles. Meaning that I'll have to add a certain amount of sugar into each bottle. Meaning that I'm gonna have to siphon this out and off of that stuff, then measure and see how much I have, then figure out how many bottles I need to prep, then I can bottle it. As usual, we'll start with some Star San to sanitize everything. We've now siphoned that out of here, leaving all that sediment behind. There's one, and there's two. 64 ounces of cider, which equals a little bit more than 5 bottles. And now that we know that we have 5 bottles worth of cider, I can just multiply the amount of priming sugar per bottle by 5 and then dump that in there. This seems like way too much, but we'll be using 10 grams of dextrose, which is 2 grams per bottle. And I personally like to add a little bit of yeast just to make sure that these for sure do ferment. Boom. Then to mix it all up, I just poured it into this vessel, which will be better to siphon out of. We now have 5 bottles, plus a little bit for me to try. Now we have 5 bottles. Our next step, I've put the bottles in our revolutionary bottle conditioning chamber. The point of this is that if one of these bottles ends up being overcarbonated and exploding, hopefully the cardboard will stop the shards from breaking the other ones, and then this bag will just catch whatever liquid is now gushing out of the broken, exploded bottle. Another way to do that is to just use the cases that your bottles came in if you bought new bottles. So now that is safely tucked away, guarded by our ferocious guard cat. And now we wait 4 weeks. There is one more question though. How does it taste? I did just dump in a bunch of sugar and yeast, so I expect it to be a little bit yeasty and way sweeter than it will turn out. However, the last time I tried this, shortly after it finished fermenting, it was good but a little intense, so I'm curious to see if it's mellowed out at all. It just smells really, really crisp. There's not a lot of that like rocket fuel that new stuff can kind of smell like. That is like the juiciest apple. It's a little tart, but it's not like sour. And then at the very end, it's got a little bit of dryness. That's pretty good.